170th game as the Texas coach against Tennessee. And it's been a long 10 days. The Longhorns are ready for a game, and we're underway here in Austin. Shug Sutton, good to see her back playing well as well. Sutton will be leading the offense along with Taylor, Underwood, Holmes, and Collier all getting the start. A steal right away by one of the best in the nation in that category, CeCe Hooks. She is the all-time steal leader at Ohio.
She has a very, very quick hands, but the defense that Ohio plays is conducive for her to be able to get in the passing lanes. They play some zone, they play switching man, and it makes it difficult to make decisions, I think, as an offensive player. You have always got to look out for the quick hands of their guards.
You mentioned that they hunt for three-pointers. I think they hunt for steals as well. That pass over the outstretched arms of Taylor, so a turnover on the Longhorns' opening possession. For Ohio, again, Hooks, one of the best in the nation in steals. Barker, one of the best three-point shooters in the country. Amani Burke, the sister of Trey Burke, who played at Michigan and now in the NBA. Kroll is starting in place of Erica Johnson, who has a triple-double this season. And there's a charge taken by Underwood.
A nice job by Jada Underwood to just get outside of that restricted area and restricted arc and take the charge. Texas has been working on being better at their help defense. They're a team that plays primarily man-to-man defense. They've been a bit tentative this year because they've played with like only 7 or 8 players, so learning how to play without fouling and learning to be more aggressive defensively.
Taylor has it stolen away. Sutton can't finish, but the ball will stay with Ohio.
Yeah, nice job again by Ohio of just, you know, they're so good at flooding the lane and being in help position on this penetration right here. Again, you see Hooks with her quick hands. Celeste Taylor saying, hey, I got some quick hands too.
Barker, just about every shot she's put up has been a 3. That is not a good sign for Texas.
Her 23rd shot on the season and 22nd three-point shot made. And Celeste Taylor, again, she looked a little inspired after she turned the ball over in that play just a little bit earlier. She was very frustrated with herself and is coming back and responding. You love to see that in a freshman.
That is her 10th three-pointer of the season. I love Taylor's competitiveness. Another 3 from Barker. Underwood has it taken away. There's that scrappiness of Ohio as Burris got her hand on it. Sutton pushing it for the Longhorns. And a whistle as she made the pass. Well, Ohio is being led now by Bob Bolden. He's in his 7th season, but he has turned this program around. Last year, led the team to an historic season. He became the first head basketball coach at Ohio to win 30 games. And, of course, Karen Aston, the second winningest head coach in Texas's history. Taylor long on the jumper, but gets her own rebound.
If you're watching this Ohio defense, what you want to look at is how much they flood the lane and they don't allow easy passes inside to the post. And they're used to playing against bigger post players. So Charlie Collier and Joyner Holmes are going to have to work very hard today to be able to get touches on the interior.
Sutton missed her three-pointer. She had the first 7 points for Texas against Tennessee. And a foul away from the ball against Texas is going to be against Jada Underwood. That'll be her first.
Ohio doesn't run a lot of offensive sets. What they do is they run a motion offense, and they're very, very spread. But they do set some screens within that offense, and they're very good at setting screens. So trying to take the charge right there is what happened with Jada Underwood. It's just pushed off.
It's a pretty intricate offense as well. It takes a while to really master. Entry pass, out of bounds. It'll go back to Ohio.
Yeah, very, very lucky right there for Texas that it wasn't just a steal and a transition point right there. But if you watch, again, Ohio, very good at flooding the lane, very good at going and getting passes and lobs on the interior. This is a game where Charlie Collier is going to be tested. Her patience will be tested. Her maturity is going to be tested as far as can she have the patience to get the ball and wait for a ball and a good pass.
Geis with the ball. She's just checked into the game. Hooks, penetrates and scores.
Yeah, and the spread offense has got Texas so spread out defensively that there's all kinds of lanes to the basket right now.
Again, Texas has had 10 days off since that win against Tennessee. Higgs is caught, has to shoot. Nice offensive rebound, but Collier struggling to finish.
And that's where Collier can really make a living, I think, today. When a player is being fronted on the interior and a shot goes up from the perimeter, offensive rebounds are going to be there for Charlie Collier. She just needs to stay in the lane and keep going for those rebounds.
Foul was on Barker. That is the one advantage that Texas has, is the tremendous size difference. Good defense. Offensive foul on Collier. And Ohio is a very unique team. They're the kind of team that can really get under your skin.
To see an offensive foul being drawn right there by the defense. Again, you scout teams in today's day and age. Everybody knows what everybody else is going to do, and you know that cut is coming. You have to be careful as an offensive player.
Karen Aston said the more she scouted Ohio, the more and more concerned she became as the realization of just how difficult a team this was going to be to play set in.
Yeah, and it's, but you know, you have 10 days to prepare for this game, to prepare also for the Stanford game coming up. But it's hard to prepare for a team like Ohio when they play such a different style of basketball.
Behind the back, Holmes with the finish.
Yeah, nice job right there. Texas going now to a smaller lineup with Collier on the bench. Joyner Holmes will be playing the 5 position. Let's see if she can get open on the interior.
Sudden with her second assist as well. Geis is tied up on the perimeter by Higgs.
What I liked about this play is the pass came from the top of the key. It's a lot easier to get the ball to the post player when you're passing the ball from the middle of the floor rather than from a set side of the floor, so strong side.
D-Speck, 21 in green, in for Ohio. Barker again. She's made 2 threes.
That's Katie Barker, but it's like you have to pick your poison out here with Ohio. They do a great job of passing the basketball.
Ohio's doubled up the score, 10-5. Offensive rebound by Burris.
Well, and Ohio has Texas flustered offensively right now. They're dictating what Texas does.
Nice take by Hooks, but she doesn't finish. Deesh stepped out of bounds.
Could you see Deeks just fly in from the perimeter and get that rebound? She's just, her coach calls her a bull in the china shop, and she is that way. She is somebody that is unafraid to go out there at 5'8" and work on the inside against 6'3", 6'5" players.
And Ohio beat Ohio State for the first time earlier this season. Nice. Taylor with a stick back. And we've got contact after the ball went through the net.
A little extracurricular activity out there. Good job, I thought, by the freshman right there, taking a really nice shot. And then after the play, a couple of bodies tangled up. They're going to take a look at that, I think, in a replay.
It was after the shot, so the basket is good.
Just watch on the inside with Joyner Holmes. And, yeah, Joyner Holmes just pushes Deesh back over right there, and then they get tangled up again. So
back in Holmes mixing it up. Good to see the passion, though. Ohio leading Texas by 3 in the first quarter. Scorer. She's now 43rd on the list, and number 16 is sitting next to me. Oh, it's a big moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a big moment, and there's another 1,000-point scorer right there in LaShawn Higgs that recently surpassed 1,000 points earlier this year. You have to remember that this is a young lady in Joyner Holmes who's missed quite a few games in her sophomore and junior year, so just started getting back into the flow of things here as a senior and getting some consistency.
Higgs, 36 on that list. Holmes just crashed the party.
And Jamie Carey. Jamie Carey of 41, and she's over on the bench.
Just about your entire team is on that list.
Oh, from, yeah, our national championship team.
Yeah. It's an impressive group.
just to kind of recap what happened before we went to break, when that foul was called, the officials went back to look at the play to see if there might have been an intentional foul. Just called a common foul on Deesh Beck, so Texas gets the basketball. And
Beck just committed that last foul. So she's got 2 quick ones here. Beck playing very physical defensively down low. I guess she feels like she has to with the size mismatch. Collier at 6'5". Here's Taylor. This is the runner.
Again, Ohio is just doing a nice job of keeping everybody home in the lane, forcing Texas to make shots maybe they're not quite ready to make, and definitely not ready to rebound.
Good take by Hooks. And Hooks now with 6 points. She scored half of Ohio's 12. Turnovers have been a problem for Texas here so far. 5 quick turnovers. And another foul. This time it's going to be defensive foul. Hooks was in the circle.
Well, right now Texas has 2 problems. Their first problem is offensively, they need to figure out how to slow down and do a nice job on offense and execute against this Ohio defense who flusters them. Who, as Karen said earlier, it's frustrating to play against a team like this because they're just so good when they front you and don't allow passes you want to make. And the second thing they need to do is they need to get in the face of the people that are scorers for Ohio. There's no way right now, when you know that Katie Barker's a 3-point shooter, she should have 3 tries already and 2 makes.
Yeah, 2 threes already made. This is Underwood at the free throw line. She's now 14 of 18, make it 15 of 19 to start the season from the free throw line. She had 13 points against Tennessee.
Charlie Collier back in the game, and Holmes sitting down. Again, Texas going with this small lineup. Joanne Ellen Taylor coming in. So 4 guards out there along with a post, just so that they're able to get out in people's faces defensively, defend the 3.
And this is a little bit different look for Texas, isn't it, based on who they're playing?
It is. I mean, I think it's very difficult to guard when everybody can shoot the 3-point shot. Nice weak side screen right there. Good job by Shook Sutton to anticipate that, switch on to Burris and make her almost turn the ball over.
Burris, a junior from Baltimore, Ohio. She's an engineering student, just like Texas's Joanne Allen Taylor.
Yeah, there's some smart players on the floor here today.
Nice denial defense by Higgs. Back over to Higgs. 3 on the way, and it's good.
Terrific.
Correction, Allen Taylor with the 3.
Yeah, terrific job right there by defensively by LaShawn Higgs, who is really doing a good job defensively, but it leads to good offense, active offense, more energy.
Texas has tied the score. They were down 12-6. Little miscommunication there. Very fortunate. Shot clock under 10, though. Hooks forces it.
Much better pressure on the basketball, forcing Ohio to make a decision that they don't want to make and take a shot they don't want to take.
In and out for Sutton. Good offensive board, though, by Collier. And you can start to feel Texas with some momentum now.
Collier looks a little bit like a pinball on the inside. If you watch her, it's just from one green jersey to the other, bouncing off of them.
3-second violation on Collier. So that'll turn it over to Ohio. Here's that steal.
Well, look at LaShawn Higgs out there not allowing an easy pass. Great job. She's looking so good out on the floor. And this is just a nice job of passing the ball to Sutton. Sutton reversing with a dribble and finding the open player. Sometimes basketball isn't as hard as we all make it. It's a little easier. And that was a nice, easy play.
Easy for you to say. Number 11, Peyton Geis in now for Ohio.
Again, the guards making things happen right now. I've been impressed with the fact that they've come out with intensity here, especially after that timeout. I mean, Karen Aston with that timeout when they were reviewing that play had an opportunity to reset her guards and tell them that she expects more out of them energy-wise.
Coach Aston felt like the 10 days was a little too long for her team to be away after that Tennessee win. But they've gotten things together here toward the end of the first quarter. Allen Taylor and the team just finished exams today. She's an engineering major, hopes to design cars one day. This is Higgs on the free throw line. And Higgs has only missed 2 free throws all season so far.
And we've mentioned this a multitude of times, right? But Higgs coming off just almost a year now from her ACL surgery last season. Hurt herself in November and sat out the entire season.
Good offensive rebound from that free throw by Collier. Down into Collier, where you can really see the size, but the hands of the Bobcats are everywhere.
Yeah, nice job by Collier to go get a really difficult pass and make a catch, but not maybe the best of passes, the best decision. Great motion by Ohio. Do a really nice job of their players keep moving.
Offensive foul on Beck, and she has 3 fouls in the first quarter.
Yeah, and here you see a good job, I think, by the freshman Celeste Taylor of just getting in good position. She's extremely quick defensively, so has the advantage matchup-wise with quickness against Deesh Beck.
Joyner Holmes in the game now for Texas gives Shug Sutton a breather.
We should also mention that a lot of the players today for Ohio are getting more playing time because Erica Johnson, who is their superstar point guard, is not playing in today's game. She sat out against TCU as well, has a bit of a foot injury, so a lot of lineups for Ohio that you don't normally see and players in.
It's the miss by Taylor, wide open for the offensive rebound though. Alan Taylor. Steal taken away by Bazelak, who's into the game for the first time as well. Nice take by Beck. Ohio lost to TCU earlier this week, 79-72. It's basically the free throw line that doomed them. Three-pointer is good by Higgs. Texas is on a 9-0 run and has grabbed a 4-point lead.
It's just the energy, I think, from Celeste Taylor, from LaShawn Higgs, also from Joanne Allen Taylor on the perimeter defensively and offensively.
Shot clock under 8. Game clock under a minute. Burke, nice take. Amani Burke, the younger sister of Trey Burke. Final minute of the quarter. Another 3 on the way. Burke will push it for the Bobcats. Coast to coast.
You're 4 and 5 getting down the...
Yeah. Nice wheels, and it's Taylor who picks up the basket with the final 20 seconds ticking off here in the first quarter.
Pretty impressive to see your 4 and 5 player who have 13 double-doubles on the season leading the break. And then Celeste Taylor, I mean, how many good things can you say about her just cleaning up and doing a lot of the dirty work here today defensively and making plays happen.
Final seconds of the first quarter. Ohio looking for that last shot, and it's missed by Beck. So Texas rallies from behind with an 11-2 run to end the quarter. With some fantastic.
Taylor at the offensive end doing a nice job, defensively doing a nice job too, and Barker sitting on the bench right now. The thing that impressed me about that second 5 minutes in the first quarter, Texas only gave up 1 3-point shot. That's great.
Missed by Hooks. Well, there's the rust factor. They haven't played in 10 days. As Sutton takes it all the way and draws the foul.
I'm going to tell you what. If you're playing against a really tough quarter court defense, the best thing you can do is get down there and score before the defense can get set up. And just a nice job by Shug Sutton. You know, she's taken a few minutes, sat on the bench. We talked to Karen Aston about this today, right, that Shug Sutton is still getting back into things and not quite maybe healthy enough to go extended minutes and play at the level she'd like to play. So getting her some breaks during the game so she can come in with fresh legs, I think that's an example of it.
They got her one of those breaks in the first quarter, and they've been managing her minutes. A 3-point play completed by Sutton.
Interesting to see right now, Texas goes to this 2-3 zone. It looks like a 1-1-3 zone, but 2-3 zone, probably to conserve energy a little bit.
It worked. Taylor to Alan Taylor.
I'm going to tell you what, the perimeter players for Texas have come to play a couple minutes early in the game. They were possibly not quite ready for the speed of the game, but they are in it right now.
Gives Texas so much more balance, so much more versatility. Again, they're playing the #1 team in the nation Sunday, which is Stanford. That'll be a noon tip here in the Irwin Center. Shot off the mark by Geis. Taylor penetrates and draws the foul.
Celeste Taylor's so hard to guard when she puts the ball on the floor, and here you see her quick hands, her ability to get down the floor. Might have double dribbled a little bit right there, but again, Taylor to Taylor. Terrific job. This Texas team, I think the one thing that's been a difference this year is the fact that their fitness level is so much better. I mean, Celeste Taylor, she's obviously a freshman coming in this year, but from top to bottom with their sophomores to seniors, all of them have the ability to go extended minutes and have to go extended minutes because of the short bench.
Foul was on Geis, and I think that she is a freshman, but just that international experience playing for USA Basketball matured her so much more than what you would typically have from a freshman.
And she sort of powered through the first 4 or 5 games where she didn't play as well as she would have liked to have played. She did all the other things that she could control, played tough defense, played a lot of minutes, and now the game is sort of starting to come to her.
That is a travel on Kroll. And she picked that other foot up. Taylor now has 9 points, by the way.
This is something with Ohio that they struggled with in the second half against TCU. TCU went to that extended zone with their guards playing a little further out on the zone, almost a third of the court out, and the guards struggled with turnovers and getting into their offense into good shots.
Collier with the range. Nice offensive rebound ripped away by Taylor, but I think she stepped on the baseline.
She just skied in there for the offensive rebound right there, and we saw Collier step out and take that three. Definitely that's a shot that Collier can take and is encouraged to take when she has it, and might have traveled, might have stepped out of bounds.
There
yep, right there.
Just a freshman, folks. It's going to be a fun 4 years with her.
Be fun. Can you imagine getting her in the weight room next year? We saw the transition from Charlie Collier from her freshman year to this season, weight and her strength-wise. Celeste Taylor with her talent is going to be amazing to see those two together next year. I'd like to see him this year, too. Just saying.
Plenty of basketball this year. But I know what you mean.
Tough pass right there.
Turnover on the Longhorns. That's the 9th turnover of the game.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this has been a problem for Texas. You know, early in the season, about 20% of their offensive possessions, they were turning the ball over. That game at Tennessee was really a big turnaround for them. They only had those 8 turnovers against Tennessee, which was probably a big reason why they were able to stay in that game and win that game on the road. But it's something they really need to get under control.
Broke a 2-year win streak by Texas, or by Tennessee, I should say. It was in Knoxville. That's what made it so much more impressive. Nice entry pass to Collier with the swat. Get that out of here.
Collier's just so versatile. I think she's able to really come from the weak side here, make up ground. Nice job defensively by her of making that up.
Kroll 5'10", Collier 6'5". Barker. She's made 2, missed a couple as well. Longhorns fortunate. Hicks somehow squirted that out of the pile.
Yeah, nice job defensively right there by Ohio. Again, one of the things that this defense is about, really, when you look at Ohio, is how do you force the offense to do what you want them to do? And one of those things is you want to force the toughest and the longest and the slowest pass. And right now, Texas did a nice job of reversal with ball reversal on that skip pass, but it's such a long pass. You just have to be patient, let things develop, make the defense work a little bit harder.
Taylor's pleading her case to the official.
Yeah, give it up. It doesn't help. Years of experience, I'll tell you, it doesn't help.
I get that. I think it's another sign of that competitive nature I've noticed in her just the last 24 hours. I love it, especially from a player that young.
Yes.
Shot clock at 8. It's a miss by Kroll. And the Longhorns have a chance to take a double-digit lead here in the second quarter.
Nice, there you go.
Wide open is Taylor. And bodies fly.
Guess who's involved in that? Deeshback.
She's involved in it. This time the foul's not on her, though. I think it's on Collier.
Well, it's just a really nice offensive play right here. Nice ball reversal the first time. We saw that skip pass, but then we saw the ball come back. And then you hear, see, just... It's competitive in there right now. I mean, Ohio's not the kind of team, even though they're undersized, they are not going to back down to anybody.
I mean, there's hands all over Collier. It's actually funny to watch if you look away from the ball when Collier's down low on offense.
Yeah.
She is being defended very physically. Hooks, nice ball handling, but blocked from behind by Holmes. Taylor on the break. Good dish. Sutton with a runner.
Great decision right there by Shook Sutton. It might have been a 3-second call inside on Joyner Holmes, and she just recognized it, got the ball up.
That is only the 4th point that Ohio has scored in the last 26 scored in the game.
Yeah, and against Celeste Taylor, she looks a little winded right now. I think one of the hard things as a freshman is to continue to play hard and not lose focus on backdoor plays, three-point shooters, etc.
Bazelak grabs that miss by Higgs. Hooks. Oh, Ohio is fearless.
Yeah, and this is where you want to be very, very careful, because Ohio's the kind of team that can knock down some shots and get back in a game.
Well, into the game for the first time, the Aussie freshman from Newcastle, Australia. I want to get the band or a student group or something. Every time she comes in the game, they go, "Good day, mate."
You'll be heading to her country soon.
Yeah, it's a wonderful country. She has the ball. Palmer has family in Tampa. That's where she's going for Christmas. Commits a turnover, though. This is Hooks. No problem finishing that. 10 points now for Hooks.
Yeah,
and 13 turnovers, Andy.
Yeah. 13 turnovers again, and Izzy Palmer needs to be very careful when she comes into a game right now. A little bit cold, not used to this tempo, and 2 quick turnovers.
Hooks throws it up. And this time Ohio does not score off the turnover, and a foul committed. Fouls on CC Hooks.
And you see Hooks with those quick hands here, and again just gets out in the passing lane. You can see her anticipating the pass, which is one of the things that Ohio does so well. They see the ball, they stay in help side position, and when the pass starts to go, they go.
Hooks has already got 4 steals. There's Palmer with the drive and finishes. That'll make up for a turnover, right?
2 turnovers. Well, that's pretty fearless. If your freshman's going to come in, that's a lot of confidence to have 2 quick turnovers and then be confident enough to go to the basket again.
She was born in the U.S., moved to Australia when she was 4 months old, so she has the Aussie accent. Oh, look at that ball handling. Whoa, Holmes. Like a point guard.
There are times when Joyner Holmes out there just is on a different plane, and it almost looked like she was just kind of fed up with everything. And like, hey, I'm not running offense anymore. I'm going to go get myself a basket.
That's an excellent way to put it. You're exactly right. There's some frustration in that drive. Speaking of drives, nice one by Bazelak. And Bazelak's going to go to the free throw line. But Joyner's performance, it's worth another look. This is Holmes.
Well, and certainly able to handle the ball like a guard in transition. Sometimes doesn't make like the best decision, but this year she's making pretty good decisions most of the time, and that's been the difference to her plays, her intensity from inline to inline.
Fouls on Underwood. Bazelak at the free throw line. Interesting story. She's a transfer. She played 4 years of volleyball at Duquesne. This is her first year of basketball since she's been in college. But she was a former Ohio High School Player of the Year in basketball.
Well, Bob Bolden actually recruited her out of high school. As you see her going to the bench after a couple minutes in the game. She put her name in the transfer portal after she finished her 4 years at Duquesne, and he couldn't believe it. He saw her name in the portal, gave her a call, and he said, hey, get over here. We want to have you still. And she's kind of learning to get back into things, but I think she's enjoying just the atmosphere of the Ohio team, his coaching style, being on the court again. She loves basketball.
Her sister's still on the Duquesne basketball team. Palmer just committed a foul. Oh, that was dangerous. Parker just couldn't get loose for the three. Good recovery by Taylor.
Ohio really with no room to take threes here in the last maybe 10 minutes of the game.
I think you have to know by this point that every time Hooks catches the ball, she's going to drive.
Yeah. They do have tendencies, and she is one of those players that is pretty true to that. I just think she's one of those players. I remember when I used to play against Cheryl Swoops, who was lightning quick, and you knew exactly what she was going to do, but you couldn't defend it because she was just that quick. And I think Sierra Hooks is a little bit that way, where once she gets in motion, it's very difficult to stop her.
Joanne Allen Taylor was committing the foul. And again, Hooks already with 4 steals in this game. Now makes a couple of free throws. That was an issue against TCU. They were only 8 of 20 from the free throw line.
You see those numbers by CC Hooks, her steals per game, career steals. She's been doing this a little while, and as a junior still has another year and a half here.
It's just remarkable, her knack for the ball defensively.
She does a very nice job defensively.
Palmer, travel. Palmer's just trying to work her way into the flow here and is going to be taken out of the game. So just too many turnovers for Palmer. I'm sure she'll be back out there, though.
Again, it's tough to come in up on the bench in a game this physical and quick and intense.
Palmer had a 15-point game earlier this season. There's another three knocked down by Burris. That's only her 8th three-pointer of the year. She's not one that is typically going to show up on the scouting report for making threes.
She's a strong and physical player on the interior, and just at 5'11", she normally plays inside, but she can knock down the three. Almost a 2,000-point scorer in high school. She's a young lady that really is persistent, works very hard, and has range. I mean, she's a perfect fit, really, for Bob Bolden's system.
Burris committed that foul as well.
Well, and that's the issue when you're playing Burris at 5'11" at the 5 position as your post player, essentially defending the bigs for another team. Joyner Holmes is a difficult matchup for pretty much anyone in the nation.
It's good sportsmanship, though. Burris went over to check on Holmes. You could see she was kind of rubbing her eye. Well, our next women's basketball game on Longhorn Network, Sunday, December 29th. Longhorns will be welcoming Northwestern State. It's 1 o'clock Central here on LHN. Nice stick back by Taylor. And of course, the Longhorns will be hosting the #1 ranked team in the nation Sunday, Stanford here. That's a noon tip.
So this is an interesting lineup that I don't think I've seen all year. Joyner Holmes out there with 4 people that play point guard for Texas, with Higgs, Sutton, who's going to the basket right now, Celeste Taylor, Joanne Allen Taylor. I think she's tired of seeing the turnovers, wants some execution, take care of the basketball, and get out on the shooters.
She's going to stay with Ohio. Good recognition by Coach Aston and her staff to make that adjustment.
If you can't beat them, join them, right?
Yeah.
Playing with all guards.
Oh, nice move. How about Hooks with a step through?
That's a terrific job by Hooks. She's so nimble and nifty around the rim. Really has a nice touch.
She'd be a nightmare to play tag against. Three-pointer missed by Taylor. Hooks again. You know where it's going. Longhorns' lead has been reduced to 5. It was 4.
That's just Ohio. I mean, I think they just keep chipping away. They never, even if the other team goes on a run, they never really give up and continue to hustle and play with heart. And that stingy defense will pay dividends over the course of a game.
Under a minute to play here in the opening half. And a foul On hooks. That's her third foul. So Holmes is going to go to the free throw line to shoot two. The senior from Cedar Hill. 7 straight double-doubles at one point this season.
Well, her defensive rebounding efficiency is just off the charts. There's just most of the defensive rebounds she gets on the interior.
Higgs grabs the miss.
And she's played incredibly consistently this year, which is something that's sort of been the knock on her over the last couple of years, is her inconsistent play, but you can't say that this season.
Shot clock down to 4. Three-pointer missed by Alan Taylor. She gets another offensive rebound. Tech's been strong on the offensive boards, but can they score points? Higgs with a travel.
It's a pretty nice move, and it's a move LaShawn Higgs makes quite often. It's just that slow step through, and usually not called for traveling, but another turnover for Texas. You see LaShawn Higgs, a jump stop, not quite a jump stop, but I don't know. So it looked like a pretty good move to me.
15th for Texas. Final seconds of the half. Texas with a 6-point lead at the moment. Ohio's going to have it for one last shot. Kroll misses, and that'll do it. So Texas playing a very difficult opponent after 10 days off from exams. And at times they look rusty, at times they look very much like the team that beat Tennessee 10 days ago. Season high for turnovers in the first half by Texas, but it's not hurting them on the scoreboard. They're still leading as we begin the third quarter. Texas with the ball.
Foul trouble for Ohio is going to be a part of this game as well. They had 2 players sit the bench with 3 fouls for quite a few minutes in the first half.
3 overall players with 3 fouls. There's a drive on the opening possession, and Taylor now has tied her career high as a Longhorn. That is her 13th point. She'll have a chance to set the career high from the free throw line.
It looks like Ohio is so concerned about the ball going inside to the bigs, and Texas starting that big lineup again with Joyner Holmes and Charlie Collier on the inside. They just sort of forgot about Celeste Taylor.
Fouls on Hook. She's got 4 now. And Taylor has a new career high as a Longhorn. But this is just her 10th game, so I think that career high is going to be set a lot of times this year. Nice drive, really forced up, though, by Kroll. Fun look at Taylor's USA basketball experience at halftime. This time she doesn't need to rebound because the finish is too strong by Collier.
And again, the pass coming from the middle of the floor when there's no help defense, able to get the ball inside, and Collier made something happen.
For Collier, surprisingly, that's just her first basket. Taylor with a defensive rebound. Sutton passed up the shot. Nice lob. And we got a foul underneath. I think Collier was over the back. It's her 3rd foul.
See the frustration by Charlie Collier, but this is a nice steal right here. Good patience. Again, the ball in the middle of the floor, so there's no help side defense. The person that could have been in help was out on the shooter.
Karen Assen trying to pump Collier up after being so dejected, getting a foul called on her. And now Collier gets a rebound. It's interesting, all the different personalities you have to manage as a coach. Sutton misses. Nice offensive rebound by Holmes.
A terrific job of just staying with it right there by Holmes and following that penetration.
Holmes with 6 points, or 8 points now. Good step through and finish by Burris.
One of the concerns for Texas is who is between Holmes and Collier having to defend on the perimeter. The last 2 times Ohio's come down the floor offensively, those 2 players have had to defend somebody that's taken the ball to the net.
Collier's still asking for the ball. This time the pass was a little low, and you know Hooks is going to get the steal. Hooks blocked, though. Rejected by Holmes. Sutton. It's like a pinball in there. Hot potato. Shot clock under 10. Collier and a blocking foul. As late to the party was Burris.
Well, and then right there you see the difference in a pass from the high post into the low post and a pass from the wing into the low post. A pass from the wing, you have a defensive player that's able to come over. You see Burris with her foot on the line right there, just in help side defense. You need to get outside of that arc. And she was also moving, which is actually what the call was defensively.
Third foul on Burris. And look at the foul trouble for Ohio. 4 players with at least 3 fouls. But you know that's not going to make them any less aggressive. At least I don't think it will.
I don't think it will either. It just depends on how much ability they have to attack the basket right there. Cece Hooks again going hard to the rim.
She is fun to play. Karen Aston told us today their guards can flat out play. That's a direct quote. Well,
and Amani Burks has been very, very quiet today. She averages 15 points a game for Ohio, held scoreless in the first half.
Holmes couldn't hold on to that. Let's go back to that last basket by Ohio, specifically Hooks.
Now you see just how much room there is in the lane. Nobody there in the lane. Bad drawing by me, but nobody there in the lane for Texas. Just a stark contrast to the other end of the floor, where you see green jerseys on the inside and help defense.
Only the 4th three-pointer made by Ohio, which is actually a good thing if you're Texas, but again, you don't want them to get hot.
Yeah, and Joyner Holmes, again, defending the person that took the 3 in that situation. She's got to extend out and guard those 3-point shooters.
Ohio, one of the leaders in the nation in made threes per game. Hooks again. Blocked by Taylor.
You know, I don't think Hooks sees a lot of athleticism like she's seen today in the MAC when they play in the MAC. That's the one good thing for Ohio as they come out into Texas, play TCU, play Texas, play teams like Syracuse this year earlier in the season, and Ohio State. They see more length and athleticism.
Oh, the bounce pass a little ambitious. Ohio's a team that last year won 30 games. Their RPI was 35. But they did not make the tournament. Even Karen Aston said today, look, Ohio, I think, should have been an NCAA tournament team last year. They did make the last 8 of the WNIT.
And we mentioned this in the first half, but I can't, emphasize this enough, is they're missing one of their best players, if not their best player, in Erica Johnson, who's not playing in today's game.
There's Burke for the bucket. You mentioned she's been quiet.
Well, and she's somebody that certainly has the ability to get to the rim and be physical on the inside. She is a master from the perimeter. Hit 11 three-pointers in a game last season.
Oh, that's just too easy for Holmes. And Burke actually had 23 points against Ohio State. She's from Columbus, so that was a bit of a homecoming for her. There's Johnson on the bench again. Had the first triple-double in program history November 10th. 24 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists against American. Only 7 players at the Division I level have had a triple-double this year.
Yeah, and I think one other player had a triple-double last night or the night before, so it's a total of 8. It's pretty impressive. We were talking to Coach Bolden before the game, and I'm like, you better not put a uniform on her because I know you're going to call her into the game today if she has the opportunity. You see Ionesco up there. I think she has 20 triple-doubles on her career. She's one of the 8 players with triple-doubles this year. And that young lady right there, Erica Johnson, 5'11", plays the point guard, jumps center for Ohio, is one of the best rebounders for Ohio. She's kind of a do-it-everything player. Sitting out TCU, sitting out today. Tweaked her ankle in a game the other day, and I think she's feeling a little better.
It's precautionary. She'll be back.
Yeah. I think people are a little concerned because she's had injuries over her career, and certainly not a player you want to lose for extended periods with injuries.
This is the launching pad for Ohio for them to go home for their Christmas break. And then they'll reconvene December 26th in Athens, Ohio, which is where Ohio University is.
Wow.
Good rebound and finish by Holmes. She's starting to dominate down low.
And that's just sheer hard work. That's Joyner Holmes going to the offensive boards, which is half the battle when you're playing against a team like Ohio.
Texas has responded every time Ohio's made a run. Good hands by the Longhorns.
Good hustle again by Celeste Taylor.
Sutton, how did she get out of that double team? Wow! Oh! That is too bad it didn't go in. And Sutton's reaction was, what? I give you that pass and you don't finish? Come on! On another level, Shug Sutton. And she walked back to the locker room on her own power, so hopefully Kroll's okay. But that's another player that Ohio is down now. Again, one of their top players, Erica Johnson, not playing at all tonight. A 12-point scorer. Kroll was the player that was inserted into the lineup, replaced Johnson. So they're third on the depth chart now, replacing Johnson.
And Sierra Hooks with 4 fouls right now. Definitely another concern.
Beck has come into the lineup for Ohio University. Taylor. Good rebound by Barker. Longhorns leading by 8 here in the third quarter. Burris. Oh, nice.
And Joyner Holmes right there, just on that defensive play, tweaked her ankle or foot or something. It's always a little bit of a scare with her. She's had so many foot scares here in the last couple of months.
Burris now the second Bobcat in double figures. Hooks the other. Holmes. Man, Holmes, she's just gotten better and better throughout this game.
And she's been very disciplined in today's game. I mean, while there's been some crazy things going on the floor and it's been a little frenetic out there and physical, that was a very controlled play. Just read the defense, took the shot.
Holmes 14 points, 8 rebounds, gets the steal as well. Sutton looking for that pass, doesn't see it. Taylor trying to add to her career high and does. Celeste Taylor, her second 3 of the game.
Well, you go ahead, girl. You know, you have to love Celeste Taylor's confidence out there.
I do, yeah. Again, she's a star in the making. An ambitious attempt there by Burke.
That's just nice defense also by Celeste Taylor, keeping her hands off the penetrator and ball handler. Celeste Taylor recognizes the shot clock's running down. She probably won't get a better shot than the one right there. Close out with hands down and knocks it in.
Barker misses, and over the back, yeah, Burke comes flying in. Foul on Burke. Kroll is back on the bench after she went to the locker room. So, good to see her back on the bench. Hopefully we'll see her in the game. 11-point Longhorn lead. I mentioned Taylor's career-high points. She's also got a career-high 3 blocks, so a good breakout game for Celeste Taylor. That last foul was on Burke. She's got 4, by the way. Another player with 4 for Ohio. And this is going to be against Ohio. And that is on Beck. And that's her 5th foul.
Yeah, and Beck and CC Hooks, both of them in there on that play. Could have gone possibly to either of them.
Beck is really upset about this call.
Yeah, you know, the officials are really taking hard looks at sort of that pushing and shoving on rebounds and the principle of verticality and hooks and holds.
Well, she's still in the game.
Yeah, that was her 4th.
It's going to be her 4th, yeah.
CC's Hooks had 4 fouls.
Wrong, yeah. So she's breathing a sigh of relief.
It might be more than her 4th. She's had 4 calls.
Yeah. 2 minutes in the third. Burke rushed it.
Well, Burke took 3 steps backwards to take the 3 right there.
Is that the shot they want?
Well, I think Burke is a little bit frustrated today. She hasn't had many opportunities or looks at the basket.
Alan Taylor lost it. She just lost that. About 90 seconds left in the third quarter. Longhorns up by 12. Barker, she's been a little off in this game. Barker had 4 threes against TCU.
I think what happens is the Texas defense, because they're a little more athletic, a little longer, they're pushing the Ohio players out maybe a step or two further than they're used to shooting the ball.
Another 3 flying and missing the mark. They're now 4 of 16 behind the 3-point line.
You certainly can't fault their effort. I mean, Ohio is playing with a tremendous amount of grit right now.
I love watching them play. Again, there's a mid-major poll in addition to the top 25. They're number 10 in the nation among the mid-majors. Bob Bolden has put them on the map. Fouls on Shug Sutton. That's her first.
Well, and what a turnaround for Bob Bolden. In his first season, they come out and they were a team that struggled with not even getting double-digit wins, and in 7 years has turned it around to a team that had 30 wins last year. It's because of the way they play. They play very hard. They're difficult to defend. They play good defense.
They wrote their wins. They got off to a 12-0 start. 341 three-pointers made. They scored 2,746 points, and they're already one of the best teams in the nation this year in steals as well. But it was quite the historic year last year, and just about everybody back this year. They have scheduled a little differently this year, playing a much more difficult non-conference schedule, and hope that that'll be the factor that will get them in the tournament at the end of the year. They've given Texas fits tonight. Nice drive and finish by Alan Taylor. Engineering major, wants to design cars, designed a nice play there.
And she has that capability. She's undersized really at the point guard or off guard position, but she's got some hops.
Final seconds of the third quarter. Texas has scored the last 8 points in this quarter. Hooks going to try to make it happen. Good D by Taylor. Oh, and a foul called with 0.1 second left. And Joanne Allen Taylor's going to get called for the foul. That's her second.
Really nice defense right here. Good pressure again. Celeste Taylor just in the grill right there of Amani Burke. Just looked like a broken play. It's always tough when you're playing defense when there's a broken play. You're caught off guard, and it's almost like, wait, I didn't mean to touch her.
Burke at the free throw line, 1,000-point scorer as well. It's the 10th of a second left in the quarter, so this is just reducing the lead. She's being serenaded by Jingle Bells. She probably hasn't heard that at the free throw line before. She makes them both. That'll end the quarter.
She must like Christmas music.
Were they just in the spirit? I'm trying to think what the correlation is there. Well, their happy exams are over. That's what it's a celebration. Exactly. Well, Texas celebrates. Palmer will be in the starting lineup to start the fourth quarter. Our game summary shows that rebounding edge still way out in front by Texas. And Texas has hung in there in the threes. Some numbers you were looking at the start of the game. How do they look when we look at these stats?
Well, and Bob Bolden talked about these stats. He said rebounding, turnovers, and three-point shooting. Those are going to be the three statistics. If we can win 2 of those threes, we have a chance to win the game right now. And they're not winning 2 of those threes. They're equal in three-pointers made, which is probably one of the big things, but also just the number of offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities Texas has had a chance to get.
Collier finishing on the other end of the floor. Let's go back to that Collier basket.
Collier continues to be aggressive, I think, to the hoop. When she catches the ball on the inside, but it's the first clean look she's had all day, right? Like when she makes a catch on the inside, it's like she's gotten to the point where she's able to finish on a consistent basis, getting stronger in the upper body. Just hadn't had many of those looks.
foul was on Palmer. It's put Hooks on the free throw line. She missed the first. It's the second. And Palmer's going to come out of the game, and she gave Shook Sutton a breather to start the fourth quarter, so Shook got an extra 35 seconds of rest.
Well, and the key right now for this game, I think, is can Texas keep their focus? Can they continue to defend the one-on-one penetration? Can they run good offense? And can Ohio knock down some threes? Are they going to be able to get some looks?
I know protecting the lead is something that you were talking about earlier as being very important when we weren't on the air.
Yeah, focus, I think. Really doing a good job of caring for the basketball, valuing possessions.
Joyner Holmes, by the way, has had her 8th double-double of the season. That's number 2 in the nation. Holmes has been 14 points, 10 rebounds. Holmes 24 in white. Again, only one other player in the nation's had more double-doubles than her this year. She just committed the foul. That's her 3rd. Free throw made by Hooks. It gives us a chance to remind you our next men's basketball game is on Monday, December 30. That's when High Point out of the state of North Carolina comes to town, 7 Central, right here on LHN on the ESPN app. Taylor also getting a breather to start the fourth. She's coming in replacing Underwood.
I think one of the things that Karen Aston might be doing is looking for someone that's going to defend the straight line drive. And when you're looking at how is Ohio going to get back in the game, it's going to be with Burke, Hooks, those two players probably putting the ball on the floor and getting to the rim. And you have to have a defender that's willing to be committed to stopping that.
Collier throws it away. This is Burke. Burke knew better. That's actually a very smart play to flip it back to Barker for the 3.
Barker's become just a master, I think, at following penetration and filling in behind people, hunting for that three-point shot.
Barker's made 3 of them. All of her shots have been threes.
Well, the first 2 were in the first 5 minutes of the game, and then Texas adjusted.
The lead is 6. Texas has responded every time Ohio's made a run, and there's a good response by Collier.
Making them pay for those offensive rebounds that they're giving up.
6 points now for Collier. Collier also has 11 rebounds. She leads the game in that category. Here's Burke, off the mark. Sutton gonna try to make it happen. Taylor getting harassed. The lob into Holmes. And there's the Ohio hands committing the foul. Holmes very frustrated she didn't finish that.
Well, it's just a very slow pass into her. It took forever to get there.
4th foul on Hooks. That would be a devastating blow if she fouls out. Collier goes to the line now. Collier will have a couple of free throws. She's only missed 6 free throws this year. 82% free throw shooter. Hooks talking to Bob Bolden. Collier, all academic Big 12 team member, as well as all Big 12 conference preseason freshman of the year last year. She's majored in physical culture and sports. Lead now 9. Ohio driving toward the Texas pep band, so they're hearing about it on offense. Barker. And Taylor got her as she shot that 3, so there's going to be...
The foul right there was on Taylor, but it was on the person who was setting the screen.
So, okay, it was not during the shot. Okay.
Dieschbeck gives the ball
Right
up and
there.
then sets a screen.
Yeah, so Taylor actually fouled back and not Barker. And officials are conferring on what this whistle should be. And the ball's going to go to Texas. Ohio's not going to go away. Ohio University, located in Athens, Ohio. All you football fans, that's where Heisman winner Joe Burrow's from. In fact, his dad was the defensive coordinator for the Ohio football team until this year. Foul on Beck. That is going to be her 5th.
Foul number 21, Jason Beck, 5th personal.
And just a touchy foul right there. Not even, it is a foul, and the officials are going to call that. Hand checking this year is a point of emphasis, and definitely the second hand check you get called on.
Beck was close to getting a technical too. She got a little too upset.
Yeah, anytime somebody's a ball handler, you need to get your hands off, your forearms off.
So Beck's out of the game. Geis comes in to replace her, number 11 in green. Texas lead is 9 here in the 4th quarter.
Offensive foul of Joyner Holmes right there.
Foul number 24, Joyner Holmes, 2nd personal.
That's her 2nd, but another Texas turnover. That's
I think the question really is, can Ohio make Texas pay for these turnovers? Are they able to get some points, cut into this lead in the last 6:22?
Again, Ohio's such a different type of opponent. Offensive foul on Burke.
Foul number 3, Amani Burke, 5th personal.
And that's going to be the 5th foul on Burke. So that's a huge loss for Ohio as Burke finishes with 8 points. 2 players have fouled out here in the last minute for the Bobcats. Hooks has 4. Sutton, it's wide open.
Just a nice job by Shook Sutton to recognize that she's playing against somebody that maybe she has an advantage on right there with Maddie Bazelak.
Sutton 7 points tonight. Remember, she had 19 against Tennessee in the Longhorn win. Barker.
I'll tell you what, Barker was looking for that 3 the whole play, and really a good job by Joyner Holmes early in the play to force her outside and not have good look, and she just stuck with it.
The arc on her shot, though, is huge.
She's just such a pure shooter, so effortless for her.
Barker's hit 4 threes in the game. Remember, Hook's going for the steal. She has 4 fouls. Shot clock is under 10 on this possession. And about 5 minutes left to play in regulation. Shot clock was going to expire, but Hooks will take it. And Hooks gets the foul from Holmes, but no basket. So that'll give us a break in the action. 3rd foul on Holmes, but Shook Sutton starting to get Hooks also with a career-high 7 steals, and she's already one of the national leaders in that category. It'll be Hooks on the free throw line to try to get to 20 points. Hooks that's her 9th free throw of the game, so she's been to the line a lot. This will be her 10th. 5 of 9 from the free throw line during the game. Missed them both. Ball's going to go to Texas, but the free throw troubles continue for Ohio.
And this score is just too close for comfort, I think, for Texas, and gives Ohio a lot of confidence, really. If they can continue to force turnovers, or if Texas continues to turn the ball over, and they can stay close in this game and chip away.
Ohio's without one of their best players, Erica Johnson, who has a triple-double this year. They've had 2 players foul out, but they stay in their system, and the system is greater than the individual. Nice look inside. Holmes has been unstoppable down low. That's 18 points now, 10 rebounds.
Oh, a much better pass right there from Shook Sutton inside to Holmes. Great chemistry between the 2 of those players.
Bazelak draws the foul.
And if you watch the eyes of Shook Sutton on this last play, depending on the angle here, you can just see, look at Joyner Holmes down there on the baseline. She gets back behind the defense, and just with her size against this Ohio team, against a lot of teams, she's able to make this play, this little alley-oop.
Fouls on Collier. Bazelak will have one more. Good rebound by Holmes. Good position. Texas leading by 9, final quarter. Then they'll play Stanford, #1 in the nation, on Sunday at noon here in the Irwin Center. Wide open is Sutton. She finally gets it. Collier harassed and fouled. Barker is really getting aggressive, arguing that call, almost too aggressive. The official had to tell her to calm down or the tee was coming.
Ohio in this 2-3 zone, just Texas taking a long time to get into any kind of offense and looking for a shot, but
Taylor missed. Good rebound by Sutton, and Sutton's fouled by Bazelak, and will have a chance at a three-point play.
That's something that's been there all day, I think, for Texas, is the ability to get on the offensive boards, but they haven't made gotten second chance points as often as maybe they could have. Great job by Shook Sutton. I know one of the things that Coach Aston wants to see from her guards as this season moves forward is she needs to see them rebound better, both offensively and defensively, and that's a person right there, Shook Sutton. If she's not back in the safety position on a shot, she can get to the boards.
Texas now in the bonus. Hooks with 4 fouls. Draws the foul from Alan Taylor. A lot of fouls here in this fourth quarter.
Well, I think Hooks is doing a nice job of figuring out ways to, if they can't get their three-point shot, how does she put the ball on the floor and really put a lot of pressure on the Texas defense? The way the women's game is called these days, you're not allowed to have any kind of physical contact, hands, or anything on a ball handler facing up to the basket. So she has definitely an advantage when she goes in there hard.
3 points in theory. 6 of 11 from the free throw line. Hooks now with 21 points as she makes both of those, and Hooks is the leading scorer in the game.
Texas really doing just enough to keep like a 9-10 point lead right now.
Under 3 to play. Hooks got her hand in the passing lane but couldn't secure the steal. That would be her 8th.
Well, I think they had differing calls possibly on that. Called it a jump ball, gave it to Texas because it was their possession.
Yeah.
At least that's what the official signaled.
I'm not, why? I'm not sure how that was ruled a jump ball.
It was very quick. I think officials saw different people touch the ball going out of bounds.
Sutton, 3 on the shot clock.
Great hustle right there by everybody. Getting on the floor, getting after it.
Taylor will reset things. Fresh shot clock for the Longhorns. Sutton driving. Wide open lane to the basket for Shook Sutton.
Sutton's done a nice job of taking opportunities. Texas getting late shots in the shot clock. That was a 20-second shot clock reset.
Good drive by Hooks. Bazelak.
How about Gabby Burris? I mean, she just kind of is in there making some space for herself and everybody else on the interior. And that play happened because Gabby Burris didn't give up, and Bazelak went to the offensive boards.
Burris had 11 points against TCU, 10 tonight against Texas. Taylor, the 3. Collier reaching over without fouling and gets fouled.
I love that she acts. She's like, I've been here. This is what I do.
Barker is so frustrated. That's a player you're seeing because the over-the-back call was not called right there.
Well, I'm not sure that there was over the back. That's the issue. Collier's just that much taller at 6'5" with her long arms. You can box her out, but on a long rebound like that, Collier is going to make hay.
Barker now with 4 fouls, and Collier puts a little salt in the wound, makes the free throw. And Barker mouthed, she's all over my back. She's also a lot taller.
Exactly.
6'5" to 5'10".
Yeah. Clock running down here, 1:24 left in the game, and really Ohio needs to figure out ways to get some shots off.
Texas leading by 12, and will have the ball now. Taylor slows it down. It's been pretty much a track meet. Nobody's slowed it down until now. Neither team, really.
Well, it's been an incredibly tense and intense and physical game, I think, today. Ohio has come out and played very, very well.
Joanne Allen-Taylor knocks down the three-pointer to try to secure the win for Texas. Under a minute to play, and it's a 15-point lead.
Again, just a hands call on that penetration. It's fun to watch Joanne Allen-Taylor, isn't it, when she gets the ball and goes up. Again, she's got a great release, gets her legs under her, great arc on the basketball. Got her teammates going.
It was Allen-Taylor that committed the foul. That's what has put Burris on the line. Allen-Taylor, sophomore from Houston. Burris now with 11 points. She's 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
For Texas, I think, really Joyner Holmes has been very good today, but I also have been impressed with the younger players for Texas at the guard position. This hasn't been a tremendous great game for 40 minutes for Shook Sutton or LaShawn Higgs, and so they've done a nice job of having intensity, coming out, making plays, few too many turnovers.
So Texas is going to build on the momentum of that Tennessee win after a 10-day break for exams. They come out and beat a very good Ohio team that I'm sure is going to be in the postseason, especially when they get everybody healthy. And Karen Aston's got to feel a little bit better as she moves toward Stanford. She said she was so concerned about Ohio, she had not opened her computer to look at Stanford.
I actually believe that. I think that she has been concerned, and a lot of times she's just concerned about her team. As you see another perimeter shot, and Texas, as the clock rolls down to 10 seconds here in the game, going to come away with the win. But she's been concerned about just her team, a young team that's been up and down, coming off that Tennessee win, and then having a 10-day break. What were they going to come out and do today?
Well, a good performance by Ohio to no avail. Texas stays strong. And a fantastic game for the freshman Celeste Taylor with a new